Before we start our discussion of using some layer mask techniques, I've got an image open on screen here. It's from the National Geographic Library. These are free downloads which you can download yourself from the National Geographic website. I'll just show you that website now, which is open up in Explorer, nationalgeographic.co.uk or .com. I think that would get you there. On the left here you'll see a link for photography. Just follow the links through and you'll find literally hundreds if not thousands of images that are free for download and for you to use basically as desktop wallpapers. Anyway, that being said, that this site is well worth a visit. It's a really fantastic site for photographers, particularly those photographers who are into nature and wildlife. I'll close that down and return to Photoshop. So this is just one of the many dozens, if not hundreds, of images that I have in fact downloaded from the National Geographic. Beautiful there. So, layer masks. A layer mask basically is just a tool or a way of hiding or revealing the contents of a layer. And to demonstrate that here with this image, first of all, you don't necessarily need to do this, what I'm about to do, by the way, as will become apparent in some future exercises, but just by way of this demonstration, I'm going to double click the background layer and click OK. That basically unlocks the background layer, and you can see now if I were to click on the eyeball here, we're basically seeing nothing. This is Photoshop's checkerboard pattern, which shows transparency. In other words, no pixel data, blank space. So I can turn that back on. Now, to add a layer mask to a layer, we use this icon here, and you can see there, add layer mask. I'll click that, and by default the layer mask is filled with white, and the basic rule with layer masks in Photoshop is white reveals and black conceals. So the white paint in this layer mask is revealing all of the pixels of this layer that it's attached to. If I were to choose to fill this layer mask with black, which I'll do now, and there are a few ways to do this, but to show you from the menu, Edit, Fill, and we could use the foreground colour, which at the moment here is my foreground colour swatch. We could do that, or if you're unsure, you can choose black from the menu and click OK. Now don't forget, white reveals and black conceals. So the black paint in the layer mask now is concealing or hiding all of the pixel data in this layer, and it's having the same effect as what I did earlier by turning the eyeball for the layer off and on. Now there's no point in doing that this time at this present, because the layer mask is filled with black and it's hiding all of the pixel data on the layer. However, if I were to grab a paintbrush and switch my foreground colour over to white, don't forget that white reveals, and I'm actually working on the mask itself. You can see that the mask is active by this white border that is highlighted around. That's different to now the pixel data is highlighted, but I actually want to be working on the mask, so I'm going to click on the mask and you can see this white border. So I'm painting on the mask itself, and I'm going to paint in white. And let's just give myself a bigger brush. Here from the menu, just click away. And painting in white on the mask, we can see that white reveals, and you can see the mask there. I can show you the contents of the mask briefly. That's the mask itself. The white part of the mask is revealing the data there, and if I keep painting with white, then I'm going to reveal the contents of the layer. Conversely, if I change over to black and paint, then I'm hiding the contents of the layer. So that's a very basic introduction to a layer mask and its basic function. We'll leave this movie here and we'll explore the concept of layer masks further, beginning with the next movie.